Honestly, this subject has bothered me for a while, and while I have addressed it in previous videos, I saw the argument made quite a bit in the comment section of my last video, and it annoyed me to the point that I believe that a video addressing it more fully, especially in regards to this particular subject, is warranted. I want you, dear viewer, to come perform a thought experiment with me. Quick question for the peanut gallery. How many of you have seen American Gods? For those of you who have, you will have some knowledge of the character Anansi. Now, Anansi, for the uninitiated, is an African trickster god reminiscent of Loki. Now, let's hypothetically say that I am given a mandate by the studio to recreate the show for modern audiences, and I have complete creative and directive control. And now let's say that I announce we will be keeping all the old cast, except for Orlando Jones, who plays Anansi, who we will be replacing with Orlando Bloom. The outrage would be immediate and extreme, as I have just arbitrarily changed a character down to the roots of their identity with no good reason. It's a disrespectful action that ignores not only the origins of the character in the mythology from which he is drawn, but also the way in which he is depicted in the show. But in this hypothetical scenario, I reply that none of that matters. After all, we want to make something new and fresh. We want the show to be distinct from what came before. We want to put our own mark on it. None of these are good reasons not to cast someone who looks the part, the audience responds. Well, why do you care? It's just a fictional character, I reply. And there I will end the thought experiment, as I believe I have made the point. The appeal to triviality here is that, in relation to race-swapping characters, that if it happened in the real world, if I actually did race-swap Orlando Jones for Orlando Bloom, the general public would be up in arms at the mere thought of exchanging the character's race. See, today, ladies and gentlemen, what we learned is that by reversing this particular appeal to triviality, it sounds really, really racist. So, let's take this particular principle, reverse it, and apply it to Angrboda from God of War Ragnarok. Let's see, a creation of Norse people who suddenly, and for no reason, looks like she came wandering out of sub-Saharan Africa, right into the middle of Jotunheim. And no, God of War isn't actual Norse mythology, but what sense does it make in the context of the world they have set up? Not really a whole lot, but we know why it's done. Because diversity and inclusion quotas demand that the studio has diverse characters, even if it makes no sense in context of the world they are creating. It's why Astrid is getting a race swap, because of the diversity quotas required by the studios and guilds that run Hollywood. And this applies to Middle-earth or any other setting where suddenly, despite all previous depictions, we out of nowhere have massive amounts of diverse characters, where there were none before. Intersectionalism is a hell of a drug, kids. There is no way to slice a race swap that doesn't wind up making you look like an asshole, and while I am sure there are going to be people arguing the opposites in the comment section, I want you to reverse any argument you make to any other demographic, repeat your argument back to yourself, and if it sounds in any way sus, maybe go back to the drawing board. But those are just my thoughts on the matter. I would love to hear what you think down below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and consider subscribing. And if you didn't enjoy the video, I appreciate you watching this long. And until next time, this has been Pete, the Radical Nerd, signing off.